Two people, one kidney, and a life forever changed.
My kidneys were functioning at less than 5%. It can also lead to organ failure.
And what were the main challenges that you faced during your treatment?
Finding the right doctor, you kind of value life even more now. So there's a purpose in life now. When you go through a lot of pain and when you see others also suffering, mainly because I see a lot of people struggling to find a donor.
Do you think you faced any limitations post your transplant?
Honestly, I haven't faced any challenge, but there's a lot of people who do tell me that they've been fired.
What message would you like to give to our viewers today?
You can also pledge to be an organ donor. 100,000 people who need an organ, only 8 to 10 receive an organ. You can end up saving a life.
Two people, one kidney, and a life forever changed. This is the story that we're telling today. Hi, I'm Naveen, the founder of Saahas, an organization that aims to raise awareness about organ donation. Organ donation has the power to save lives, yet it is so barely talked about. To change this, we're continuing our series of podcasts, and I'm joined here today by Naveen, a recipient of renal transplant. Welcome. It's a pleasure having you today.
Hi Navya, thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
So, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Okay, so I'm basically an engineer. I work with a health tech startup. I'm a kidney transplant recipient. I do advocacy for lupus. I do advocacy for organ donation and CKD. And when I'm free, I run, I trek, and I play the guitar.
That's great. So you got diagnosed in 2020. So could you tell us when and how you decided to get a kidney transplant?
Okay, so I think the diagnosis happened in 2020 October, but the journey goes even before that. I started getting my symptoms in the initial days of July 2020, when I used to feel shortness of breath while climbing stairs. And after feeling shortness of breath for almost 2 to 3 weeks, that's when I realized that something was wrong in my body. And because I was a frequent trekker, it felt very odd to me. And that's when I decided to get myself checked. And it was during a routine health checkup. I got to know that my creatinine was 11 and all my parameters were on rooftop. And that's when I decided to go and meet a nephrologist. And when I met a nephrologist, he told me that my kidneys were functioning at less than 5%. And they did a series of tests after that, which included ANA, it included biopsy, dsDNA, and C3, C4 complement levels. And that's when I was diagnosed with SLE. It's called systemic lupus erythematosus. It's an autoimmune disease wherein your immune system starts attacking your body's healthy tissues and organs, and it can inflame your organs and tissues and cause irreversible damage. And if the damage is not treated at the right time, it can also lead to organ failure, which in my case was kidney. And that's when I was diagnosed with lupus nephritis. And immediately I was put on dialysis. I was given immunosuppression, and I was given chemotherapy and other, biologics. So that continued for almost a year, from October 2020 to October 2021. And during the period of my dialysis, we decided to screen my mother, for kidney donation. And she also went through a lot of tests. And once we were sure that she was fit enough to give her kidney, I got the transplant in October 2021.
And what were the main challenges that you faced during your treatment, including dialysis and the process of getting transplant?
Okay, so I think the challenges started right from I got diagnosed. It's very difficult, to first of all understand what lupus is, and then to probably find a doctor. A lot of the times what happens is that we don't end up finding the right doctor. So initially I went to a nephrologist, but the nephrologist was mainly treating me for CKD and dialysis. And there was a slight challenge with the doctor, with respect to treating my lupus. So the first major challenge was finding the right doctor who can treat both lupus as well as CKD. And after that, things like finding a quality, dialysis center, finding a center that was near to my house was also a very difficult task. And after that, it was very difficult to find a donor also. Initially, we thought of going for a cadaver transplant,
Right.
and because my blood group is O positive, and it's very difficult to find a donor who has O positive blood, because the waiting list is
So
extremely
long.
lengthy. It's very long, right? So
That's right.
yeah, finding a donor in itself is the biggest challenge, if I may say so. And yeah, I think these are some of the challenges that I faced, before my transplant. But once my donor was, finalized, which is my mother,
Mhm.
I think the challenges reduced, you know, per se.
Right. So it seems like it was a really challenging journey. So do you think after transplant, your life has changed and it has gotten easier?
Yeah, life has changed, considerably, because you kind of value life even more now.
Mm.
I mean, I used to value before that also, but your habits change. You're more healthier. You need to be more healthier now. You need to take care of your diet. You need to take care of your nutrition. Exercise. So yeah, I mean, I used to take care of that previously as well, but I'm more careful now. After my transplant, it's been almost 4 years now into my transplant. So I almost run 3 to 4 times a week. I run half marathons also. I also trek. So there's a purpose in life now. Before my transplant or before the diagnosis itself, there was no purpose. I mean, a big purpose in life. It was missing. But when you go through a lot of pain, and when you see others also suffering in that journey, you kind of tend to have that purpose, come in your life. I mean, just like you. I mean, you must have also seen a lot of people. So yeah, there's a lot of purpose in life. So as I said, I run marathons and I trek. So I try to raise awareness about lupus, CKD, and organ donation. It's something which is very close to my heart. Mainly because I see a lot of people struggling to find a donor. It's one of the biggest challenges.
Right.
So I try to raise awareness about lupus, organ donation. I work with Lupus Trust India. I work with Kidney Warriors Foundation and also Organ India. So yeah, there's a lot of work that's happening post transplant, which otherwise wouldn't have happened. So in hindsight, I mean, the life has changed for better only.
It's great to see that this whole experience has had a positive effect on you and that you're now even advocating for lupus and organ donation. But on the other hand, do you think you faced any limitations post your transplant in your job or even in your daily life?
I mean, luckily, I haven't faced yet, with respect to my job. But yes, I mean, in this journey of 4 years, I've come across a lot of people, transplant recipients who struggle to find a job, because it's demanding. You have to travel. You can fall sick because you're on immunosuppression. You can fall sick, and it's very difficult for an organizations also to accept to actually accept a recipient who has undergone undergone a transplant. Okay, I mean, let alone being a sick person, it's difficult to accept someone. So I've seen a lot of people struggling to cope up with work.
Mhm.
And I mean, in a country like India, it's difficult right now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
not a lot of organizations look at health per se right now. They've started to look at it, but yes, honestly, I haven't faced any challenge. But I do come across a lot of people who do tell me that they've been fired because they have CKD, or it's difficult for them to find a job because they have CKD, or they have undergone transplant.
That's interesting to hear about.
Yeah.
And lastly, what message would you like to give to our viewers today?
Yeah, so I think what I would say is that live your life, be happy, and most importantly, you can also pledge to be an organ donor. You can talk to your family about it. In India right now, there are almost 100,000 people who need an organ, and out of those
Right.
100,000 people, only 8 to 10 receive an organ every year.
That's right.
So if you can pledge to be an organ donor, and if you can talk about it with your family and your social circle, that would be great. You can end up saving a life in this process. So yeah, that's the message that I can give right now.
Thank you so much for being here today. So
Thank you so
it
much,
was great
Navya.
to hear your insights. If you want to know more about organ donation and want to pledge to be an organ donor, log on to organindia.org to know more.